Bo and Luke Nation, thank you so much for joining us. And by the way, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We've seen a giant spike lately in the amount of downloads that we've had and the amount of likes that we're getting on social media. And it's just so encouraging for Bo and myself to see that, folks are really getting a lot of value out of this. And it's really motivating to keep bringing you that value. So thank you so much. So welcome. I'm your co-host, Luke Carignan, and I am sitting here with
your other co-host, Bo Brabo. Once again, we're coming back to you this week with another great episode. This week's guest is Jeku Arce. I think I said that right. Yeah. Jeku came to us. He is part of this. He's a professional photographer. He is a public affairs officer for the U.S. Army Reserves and for the Veterans Administration. Jeku knows all about how to get the message out, get the word out. And this project that he recently worked on, it's called 10,000 Headshots, was a way to help people who've been unemployed and impacted by COVID-19 to truly get the professional headshot they need for their LinkedIn profiles, which, as Jeku explains, it's your digital handshake for showing people who you are. It's your first impression. Today, it's like a whole marketing thing with your LinkedIn profile. It's like your one-page website, if you will. It gives you access and the ability to show potential employers and your network who you are and what you bring to the table. So that professional headshot is super, super important. And that was a great program that Jeku was part of. So tune in. Be sure to listen to all the great advice that Jeku is giving, along with Luke and I, and just take that for what it's worth and go forth and conquer. So if you want to check us out, make sure you hit theboandlukeshow.com. Up top right corner, you've got your links to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and so forth. You can check out all the profiles on our previous guests and listen to their episodes as well. You can provide us feedback. And hey, by the way, Luke, our email subscription list is growing by the day. So we want to thank everybody for putting your email in. And we promise we will not bombard you for trying to buy or sell you things from the show. We'll hit you up periodically, tell you what's coming, what's happening, another way for us to keep you informed. We just want to say thanks. And hey, if you want to be a guest, you got a great idea, just like Jeku did, he reached out to us, fill out the guest feedback form and let Luke and I know so we know what it is you want to talk about, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said, we're not going to bombard you and try to sell you stuff, because we won't. But I will say this is my shameless plug. We do have some new Bo and Luke gear on the website. Specifically, yes. I want to mention those trucker hats, because those are sweet. Like, folks, it's stuff that you're actually going to want to wear, not just like a shameless plug for the Bo and Luke show. Like, you're going to look good if you walk into a room. I might even go as far as to say that you might want to wear it in your new headshot, that you get from Jeku. It's the first step, Bo, is, if
the first step. Get your headshot with your Bo and Luke show trucker cap on. I love it.
That's right. When I used to work in restaurants, I was a server, and, sometimes I wouldn't have my top button buttoned up, and I had this manager, and he'd come up to me and he'd go, "Hey, Luke, if you can't be a good server, you might as well look like one." And that always stuck with me. So now I'm kind of thinking with the headshot, right? The first step to being good at your job, it's at least looking like you are.
That's right. You got to look the part, man.
Yeah.
Nothing will set that off like a Bo and Luke show trucker cap.
That's what companies look for. I mean, in the Fortune 500 and things like that today. So
creativity, uniqueness, all those things that set you apart from everybody else, because guaranteed your competition probably won't be wearing the trucker cap, but you will be. And they'll be like, huh, look at him. Look at her.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to talk to that person. Yeah. Interesting.
That's right. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, without further ado, shall we jump in?
Let's do it. So, Jeku, welcome to the Bo and Luke show. How are you?
Thanks for having me on. Glad to be here.
Oh, we're super excited to have you. Bo and Luke Nation, we have Jeku in studio with us today, and we're going to talk about some really cool stuff, different things that he has going on. Great big project that's happening across the country that we're going to dive into. Really excited about that. This project even made it to the Today Show, so it's big stuff. It's happening, and it's really, really cool. So, Jeku, before we get into all that, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and who you are?
again for having me on the show. My 30-second spiel, I am a veteran. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a government public affairs specialist. I'm also an Army Reserve public affairs officer. I'm also a father of two. And I am definitely, most importantly, a foodie. You see my gram. I'm always loving trying to find new things. Unfortunately, with the new pandemic, it's not about going out. It's about trying to recreate what's out there at home and being safe and continuing to do social distancing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's what we've been doing. Luke, how about you? You've been doing that at home, recreate the experience in-house?
No idea. You have no idea. Yeah, I've gotten into sous vide cooking, into smoking fine meats. My grill skills have been improving like crazy. I mean, you name it. I've gone. We even make our own sushi at home now. So
no kidding.
Oh yeah.
I had a grease fire on my grill tonight. It was not fun. Flames everywhere.
You got to do the worst job on earth is cleaning out your grill.
Yeah.
So you have to bite.
I would agree. I would agree. So that's pretty cool, Jeku. Explain to folks, because I know even from my own daughter, I get it all the time. What is public affairs? So what is public affairs in the Army and in the military? And what does that mean? And what do you do when it comes to public affairs?
So for public affairs, for me and how I see it as a way of communicating. Every organization has a message that needs to be put out. And if you're the public affairs officer or you're in a public affairs role, your job is to communicate your commander's message. Whatever that is, you are the subject matter expert to make sure that message gets out there to the right people, the right time, and the right distribution method. So you are the spokesperson, you are the communicator, and your job is to communicate. And without you, your commander, your boss, has no way of leveraging his connection to families, to external and internal audiences. So public affairs has definitely been an important time, especially in the Army Reserve, Army time, because of COVID. And I feel like we can't get away from talking about COVID with any conversation these days, but definitely with COVID and reassuring our soldiers, our service members and families that we've got a plan, we're working on it, and we're going to continue to update you as we get updates.
Yeah. Wow. No, it's a great explanation. How does that translate into, if you were guiding a young service member getting out and they were a public affairs specialist, how do you translate that into corporate America? Is it marketing? Is it public relations and PR? How does that work there? In your words, what do you think?
I think you hit it on the head, hit the nail on the head when you mentioned public relations. That's definitely the civilian term for public affairs. How I understood public affairs, going to public affairs qualification course at Defense Information School, where public affairs is more on the governmental side, public relations more of corporate America and the business world. The roles are still the same. Your job is to communicate whatever your organization's message is to the masses, and you find out what your boss needs to put out, and then you analyze if your audience is getting the message, and you evaluate, you rinse and repeat.
That's pretty cool. So I think, Luke, do you mind if we talk about masks for just a moment?
I would love for you to talk about masks.
Yeah, you want to talk about masks? So, Jeku, I have a question for you. And this is not a debate on wear a mask, don't wear a mask. That's not where I'm going. But so from the Army perspective, and you're talking about putting out the commander's message, when the Army put out the message, or the military, that service members would have to wear masks, either on base, in formations, whatever the case might be. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's got to be a certain color mask. Is that correct?
That's correct. There's specific guidance on what color that you can wear. Unfortunately, I cannot wear my Darth Vader printed masks. Disney has been not being paid by Disney to say this, but they've got these really cool masks. I'm still waiting for them to come in. I think my wife ordered them about 2 months ago, but it'd be really, really cool to wear them in uniform. But alas, I can't, because standards. We need to make sure it fits with our uniform, with color, style. Sure. But man, it would be really cool.
It would be really cool. And that's one of the things about masks, right? We even have masks being made. We had 20 of them made. They're gator necks with all our Bo and Luke Show logos on them, and we got more being made, actual masks, more gators, so we can get them out to the Bo and Luke Nation. But the point of so here's the next level of the question, because you bring up a good point. It'd be really cool if you could wear your Darth Vader mask, right? So do you think there will ever be a point, because all these custom masks are coming out, people are taking advantage of it, it's a new market, where a company, a corporation could say, hold on, time out, right? This is not in this particular mask that someone chose to wear it's not within the values of our company. So then restrictions start being put on. Not only do you have to wear a mask, but what type of mask do you have to wear? I kind of foresee that as a potential next issue to arise, because everybody's getting into the show, right? On all these custom face masks to include us. What do you think about that? You think that'll happen? Think that's coming?
So when it comes to masks, the biggest thing that I've seen personally is personalization.
Yeah.
For instance, you're able to put your show's emblem, your insignia. I think the next level, and I've seen this pre-COVID when I was walking around taking the metro in Washington, D.C., is guerrilla doing ad placements on people's masks.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. What I've seen is people with backpacks that are LED, and they walk around the metro, and they're being paid to wear this backpack for their time, and it's guerrilla marketing. It's in your face. You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
Next level marketing. You have LED masks that are programmable, and you pay for space on your mask as you're walking around to the store. I feel that's next level marketing.
And you get make money. Yeah. Make money
it.
and be safe. I was going to ask you, I'm going to just do a rapid fire business idea for you right now, Jeku, and you can pick it up. You can put it down. It might take off. It might not. But I'm thinking, so people pay for a headshot from you, right? We go get a Jeku headshot. As an add-on package, you provide a custom mask with that part of their headshot. So it's my mouth and beard over the face mask.
That's brilliant.
I wish I could say that you were the first person that thought of it.
Dang it.
But you're not. There's another guy that's been doing that I remember seeing it on a Kickstarter campaign. He uses augmented reality and the new IR thing on the new iPad in order to scan your face, and then you send it in, and they'll actually do it. We'll make a mask with your features. So using IR technology, they'll map your face in 3D. You send it in, and they will print a mask of whatever part of your face you want to include.
Right, wow. That's next level. That's super next level. I wasn't even taking it that far. I thought we could just do like a picture, but think of how much fun this would be, Bo. Like you could be talking to somebody and it just looks like you're not talking, and people, wait, who said that? Who said that?
Yeah, and it kind of is, and it kind of tells you too when you're trying to look out into the future the best you can, that even if COVID went away tomorrow, right? People are getting into the masks, right? Oh, yeah. And it could stay with us anyways. Not that it would mean it's mandatory, but people will just do it because it's fun, and you can customize it, and you've got LED display going on your mask, and whatever. Kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Good way to make some extra cash.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So Jeku, you're involved in a pretty big nationwide project in reference to photography, volunteers. This program being run by, correct me, I think I've got it right, by world-renowned photographer Peter Hurley, where the unemployed are being offered free headshots, because in today's time, we all know that a nice professional headshot is really, really important. It's because it's all about first impressions, and everybody's on social media and looking at your LinkedIn profiles when you're looking for work, and it's super important. So describe to us what this project is exactly and how you got involved, and we'll go from there.
So the project 10,000 Headshots is a brainchild from a fellow colleague from the Headshot crew. It's a group of headshot photographers. We're all over the world, and it's led by Peter Hurley. But Tony Tafe is a headshot photographer out in Arizona that picked up this idea, and with the collaborative effort of Peter Hurley and a couple other key principals, we were able to make this happen. So on July 22nd, we were able to round up about 200 photographers in multiple locations around the nation, and malls owned by Brookfield Retail on their properties. And we were able to secure space, form teams, and all virtually, not doing any coordination in person. We were able to book people who have lost jobs due to COVID or any other unemployed reason, and as our way of giving back to the community, because we know that times are tough, and we needed to give back to our community somehow.
Yeah, I just think that it's incredible. It's an incredible effort. I applaud you, salute you for being part of that, and it's just a great way to give back to all those people who've lost their jobs in some way, shape, or form. So just so listeners know, if somebody was to book such an event to get professional headshots done, right, with a professional photographer, what would that normally cost them?
The current average for a headshot photographer who really knows what they're doing is about $250. So that's just for the session, and then each photographer has his own pricing for retouching, for extra images. So it is with the goal of doing 10,000 headshots on this day for about 200 photographers and around 50 headshots, or 50 people needed to come in. Yeah. So doing some quick number crunching for each photographer, if they were fully booked, that's about 10 grand that they could have made, but they've not, because it's important to give back, and we needed to give back to our community to make sure we help others.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty incredible.
Amazing.
That actually took place on July 22nd. Well, that was the first. Is it going to happen again? Is it something that they're going to keep doing?
It's currently we're still on the high of the event. As you mentioned, we were on the Today Show. We were on Fast Company. We made it to local and regional outlets all around the nation. We're still picking up media hits on it, and it's still an ongoing thing that we're still pretty high on. And I don't think we've started thinking about doing next time, but I think we're still reeling in and how much this has made an impact to people in every community that we've gone to so far. So we would love to do another one, but as of this time, we have no set plan.
Gotcha.
That's huge. Tell me about the folks that come in. Are they typically the types of folks that, have they ever had headshots before? And then I want you to talk a little bit about how important they are, especially like in the job market today when you're trying to get back in. But are the people that are coming in, are they your typical, like, are they replacing an old headshot? Or are these folks that are like, wow, this is something I really need to do to get an edge?
So you mentioned about the importance of the headshot. LinkedIn says that profiles with a headshot receive about 21 times more profile views and 9 times more connection requests.
Wait, did you say
just
21
the stats
times?
21 times more profile views. So that's your first impression. This is your headshot is your digital handshake. Especially on a platform like LinkedIn or any other network, because of it's such a visual platform that you need to be able to represent something of yourself. And so the people that I shot in Arlington on July 22nd, a lot of them were from the hospitality realm. Oh, wow. With COVID, a lot of people who were doing hospitality, a lot of them did catering events, conventions, a lot of events of that type, but due to the current pandemic, they couldn't. So they are looking for new jobs and they're trying to find different ways and how they can use their skills in hospitality
Mhm.
to another type of event, probably virtual events. And they're trying to find creative solutions to put their skills to use in either in other hospitality markets, maybe down the line when things get better, or maybe adapt and overcome to the current state of things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
I,
does make a big difference. I'm on LinkedIn all day long, so I can attest to that. Yeah, it does make a big difference.
yeah, it's a first impression. It's like it's the new way of yeah, it's that new first impression versus, the first time you're seeing somebody is when they walk through the door. That's not the case anymore. It's here. And even when I talk to clients on the career coaching side and we're talking about the LinkedIn profile, and you just got to be, I have to be honest. I just have to be honest and transparent. Like if their headshot or their photo is not good, or it's not professional, or it leaves a certain impression, then I just tell them what that impression is. And that's the role I play in that. And so I think Jeku's hit it right on the money. It's your digital handshake, and that profile says something about you. So it's important.
Yeah. And I think it's important to update it too, right? Because you don't want, especially when you're going for a job like mine now, I'm like, gosh, I got to replace mine. Mine's from like 2015. And I was waiting. My excuse was I was going to wait till I lost a bunch of weight and then get a shot. Yeah. You hear Bo laughing. So that hasn't happened. So now I think I just need to get a new headshot. But yeah, I think how often would you recommend keeping up with it? Because you also don't want to have a really good headshot and then just show up looking completely different.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
One thing I tell clients is that the headshot that I take should be an actual representation of them walking in that door, meeting their future employer, or walking into an event in which they're speaking at. It should be a great representation of them in its true and transparent form. So hairstyle, glasses, anything of that sort. I talk with the client prior to the event to make sure that, what is you? What is your brand persona? What is your branding? What represents you?
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure the headshot section, the headshot session is becomes a reflection of them, especially when we give them that headshot photo at the end of the session.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's super good.
So to answer your question about updates, usually 3 to 4 years is a good time frame. And things change over time. You lose a lot of weight, or you work out, especially, or you've got some other things going on, and you got a new design, hairstyle that you want to put yourself out there for a certain event. Come on in, and those are great times to get an updated headshot.
Yeah, I need to get that done.
Yeah, you should. You need to go to a professional, do a whole professional photo shoot there, Mr. Kerrigan.
I know, I do. So are you in the DC area, Jeku?
I am in the DC area.
All right. Well, I'm not that far away, so I need to make it there sometime soon. So I'll hit you up when I'm down there.
Let's do it.
It'll be great.
It's fun.
Oh, yeah. It's the best.
I did mine last fall, and I think I changed outfits 3 or 4 times. And then just like Jeku said, at the end, because I was some suit and tie, some just, nice pair of jeans and a blazer, right? Sports coat. And then as you start looking through all the photos, you're like, yeah, that's not really me. That's not me. And then the ones that are you and really represent you kind of rise to the top.
Yep.
I will tell you when you come in that pants are not necessary.
All right, good. They're optional. Yeah.
Well, they're optional. But I recommend having something down there. But pants are optional for headshots because it's just about here up. So just letting you know.
That's how I live life,
That has got to be like the best thing about working from home and being on Zoom, right? All day.
Yeah.
It just got to look good from the desktop up.
That's right. Sometimes I actually have, I'm giving away all my secret sauce here. Sometimes I have like just a shirt behind me. Like I'll have like a polo shirt or something, or a button-up shirt folded up behind me. I don't have it right now, and then like before a call, I'll just button it up, and then that's it. And then I'm good to go.
You're ready.
Yeah. Then when the call's done, it's off.
Wow.
I'm back to the nude, you know.
You can
That's
do
how
that
I-
now because little John Luke's not walking around yet.
That's right. That's right. He's too young to be scarred for life from what he sees.
Yeah. So Jeku, are you still serving in the Army Reserve? Still serving us, protecting our freedoms?
I am still an Army Reserve Public Affairs Officer. I am currently the Deputy Public Affairs Officer for Military Intelligence Readiness Command out in Fort Belvoir,
Nice.
Virginia. And it's got about 8,000 soldiers all across the world, and dealing with military intelligence stuff. So
Wow.
it's still great to be able to serve my country in reserve status, and I'm still enjoying it.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for your service. We appreciate that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw it. I have to ask this because we had a former guest that was talking about this. I just want to see if there's a parallel. So I read on a Facebook post that you served in Germany, right? Is correct?
That is correct.
All right. So were you in the Berlin Brigade by any chance?
I cannot say no, I was not in the Berlin Brigade.
You're not okay because we had he was telling crazy stories about fashion shows and all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was
Does the Berlin Brigade still exist, or did that get shut down? We're gonna have to check.
Yeah, it could have been for excessive partying and fashion shows.
Yeah, we're talking.
No, I was in Germany. I was in Germany for 4 years, and I enjoyed it very much. And that's actually part of my transition from being an Army nurse switching into public affairs, and I haven't looked back since. So
Wow.
I'm glad I made the transition, and it worked right for me. And it was the decision I just made to continue serving my country because I felt this is the right way for me.
Good for you,
That's
man.
awesome. Yeah, good for you. It's very inspirational. So, do you have a battle rhythm that you follow every day? You get up at 4 a.m, do physical fitness and all that good stuff?
I have a planned battle rhythm. However, that always gets curveballs with my two little ones.
Yeah.
My youngest one is kind of going through a teething phase again.
Oh, wow.
He's got his molars that are popping in. My son's about 1.5. At the beginning of the pandemic, for some reason, all his teeth wanted to come in at the same time. So within, I think, 2 months, he had 12 teeth. 12 teeth come in.
Wow.
And it was around the time in which daycare closed in our area. So I'm working from home and I'm taking care of the kids while my wife is a labor and delivery nurse in the local hospital. So she's on the front lines of dealing it, and I'm working from home and taking care of the kids. And so just dealing with 12 teeth at the same time. I am so glad I don't remember that pain from being a kid, because looking at my son's face, it's just looks unbearable. And so, yes, I have a plan for a battle rhythm, but that, with life, there's a lot of curveballs that come in, but definitely doing physical activity and making sure I get some meditation from time for myself is important as much as I can. But now where we are in Virginia, it's opened up. Our daycares are open to limited capacity with all the measures in place. And so I'm able to get a better battle rhythm for myself on a daily basis.
It's awesome.
Good. Yeah, that is awesome.
What kind of meditation are you doing?
Most of it is just trying to sit outside before it gets too humid and just drinking my espresso and just looking and reflecting on what we have. And lately it's having been a former nurse in the Army, working in the ER, and then with my wife being on the front lines in labor delivery at the hospitals and dealing with COVID patients, potential COVID patients, and also one day my wife may come home with COVID after trying to help a mother give birth to a child into this world.
Yeah.
And so it's been, and then the other part lately has just been reflecting on life and death. It kind of sounds morbid, but being from the medical side, we deal with it all the time. So we have our own way of reflecting and debriefing after a code, after a mortality happens. It's important to have those moments for yourself even more so now that even working from home, I feel like I'm going at 200 miles per hour rather than the 110 that I was before.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that I think you bring up a great point for all of our listeners, because Jeku, we talk a lot about, my gosh, it started in our second episode with the battle rhythm. And it's been a topic on almost every episode, whether you call it battle rhythm or your daily routine, and getting in that type of, having that type of momentum every day to get you through the day and reach your goals and build value and success. But you bring up a good point about taking personal time, right? So we're often bombarded with, whether it's information hitting us all the time through all our social media platforms and television, it's family, it's children, workplace requirements and demands. But I agree, it's super, super important for everybody listening that part of your day really needs to include some time to yourself.
Yeah.
Whether that's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or if you can get an hour, just you, right? And whatever that is, if that's sitting on the porch or whatever, drinking a cup of espresso, just to decompress in your own thoughts. I love that.
Yeah. Meditation is where it's at. I'm a huge fan. Even if it's like 5 minutes in the morning, makes such a huge difference. And listeners, if you haven't done it, it's so easy. Just go to YouTube and type in 5-minute meditation or something. It'll pop up. Just start. It's that
Yep.
easy. It's just, for me, it's like just all about clearing my mind. Just because like you said, running around 200% instead of 110. I feel like everyone's doing that during the pandemic. And if only for 5 minutes you can calm down that crazy mind, it just sets a different tone for the day.
Yeah, I would agree. Jeku, what advice would you have for other parents out there who have small kids at home? And, this has been trying times for the past almost 5 months now. Do you have any lessons learned, things that go better now than they did 3 months ago? And, is that still evolving in the home front, with getting through every day? Anything that has worked for you and your wife and your home?
Are either of you familiar with the show Daniel Tiger?
No.
So Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, after Mr. Fred Rogers, he passed away, his show got passed down and it went into an animated series. And now there's an animated tiger form that kind of dresses up and mimics the character of Mr. Rogers.
Oh, no kidding.
It kind of goes along the same lines of what he does every day. Trolley is still there. King Friday is there. So some of the characters are there, but it's more geared to a much younger audience, and that's something that we picked up for our kids. It's on PBS. Small plug for that. But one of the songs that that really stuck out to me in this, and it's funny because it's in a kid show, but it's still applicable as a parent. So there's a part in which the character Daniel Tiger gets angry at his friends for pushing his toys away or just being frustrated, but he's being taught to take a deep breath and count to 4 when you get frustrated or when you get mad. Mm-hmm. And being at home the last couple months without daycare, without any extra support, because we really can't be with other people. And I'm sure a lot of people have experienced increased frustration, a lot of stress. And it's just those moments in which something happens that's out of control at home. My kids didn't mean to make an accident by pushing that cup of water from the dining room table to the floor, because that becomes an extra stressor because now you have to clean that up amongst all the other things you have to do. It's the melody just kind of picks up in my head where you need to stop, take a breath, and then count to 4. And then if you need to count some more, it's okay.
Yeah, I like that. Good way to, I like that a lot. I'll have to try that. Thanks for that. I think everybody will appreciate that, because any tools, tactics, tips people can get their hands on that work for others are good things for people to try, for sure. Good stuff.
Yeah, that'll work. I'll try that.
So.
Yeah.
You should.
We're also teaching our kids French, so we try to teach them the numbers in French as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Yeah.
we're trying to mix it up at home. It just helps. We're trying to get our kids to learn different languages, and if I can incorporate it with some learning, with behavior, why not?
That's right. No, that's good
amazing.
stuff.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
I do have one question though, Jeku, and just so everybody knows, everybody listening, if you had been following Jeku on the gram, as he calls it, the big Instagram, about, I don't know, the last several weeks, month, you would have seen the beard and the long hair. But I'm telling you, if you could see him now, that's not, now he's clean shaven. Looks like he's got a fresh cut on top. What's up with that?
I look like my profile photo.
You do now. Yeah. Yeah. Go back to that, right? Because had you taken if you showed up today, you'd like you were a month ago with the long hair and the beard, I would be looking at your profile and be like, who's that? Yeah, for sure.
So I decided to cut the COVID haircut and the COVID beard, and I think I blame my parents for this, because the genes that they gave me, my hair did not connect on my beard, so it was just like weird patches. My beard would not connect. So
The chops.
and then so it just started getting frustrating, and then the most frustrating part, I know this may sound disgusting to some of your listeners, is that I started eating some of my beard hair along with my food, and even trimming it just grows back, and I'm like, I'm done. I think, and I'm glad the 10,000 headshots project came about, because that was kind of the turning point for me, that I need, if I'm going to be helping people look their best, I better look my best too.
That's sound advice. I like that.
Well, you look great, man. I have a beard, and I have a very weak chin, so I can't shave this. Like once every few years, I shave it off, just because I'm like, you know what, I might look good, and I don't. So you're a lucky man, because you shaved it off and you look great.
Yeah,
I think you look great with the beard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I do, I really do identify with like eating your beard and getting like, I have to trim this thing every other day. Scissors, clippers around your mouth. It's very high maintenance.
It looks good in our logo. I'll tell you that.
Now I can't shave it ever.
You can't.
Because of the logo.
Because of the logo. It looks good.
It's part of your personal brand. You can't get rid of it anymore.
That's right.
Nope.
I'll actually dye it orange for Halloween, and then I'll look just like the logo.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well, awesome, Jeku. We really appreciate you being on the show. It's been fun, and I'm so glad that you were involved in the 10,000 Headshots program. I think that is super cool. And I'll just, last bit for me is, for anybody listening, truly take all of Jeku's advice. If you need an updated headshot or profile pic for LinkedIn or anything that you're doing, it is well worth your $250 to get that done. And you think about it, as he said, maybe every 3 to 4 years, it will pay big dividends. And remember, he said 21 times more likely or more profile views with a professional headshot versus a selfie or some crazy pic you took off of Instagram or Facebook of yourself. But so get out there and do that. Luke, any final thoughts?
I just really enjoyed this. I really did. And after you go, please make sure to send me the link to some of your gear, because we need to post that on the site, Bo. Because I'm telling you, listeners, like Jeku you have the best Zoom video I've seen in my life, and I'm on Zoom all the time. Like I'm fascinated by it. So let us know what gear you're using, because listeners, you got to get your hands on some of this. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I thought we were doing good, really, Luke, until we see Jeku.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll make sure to send you guys a link.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So, and let me ask, and then we can close out. So, is this? You mentioned the cam link. So, do you have like a tripod and like an SLR camera in front of you? That's what I was envisioning. Am I totally wrong?
I do have a mirrorless camera with a very wide aperture lens, so that helps.
That I totally didn't understand what you said, but I hope that Bo, did you catch that?
Really expensive gear, really expensive lens, and a little adapter can make all the difference.
But
1, 2, 3, 4 lights that I have going on in the background.
It looks great.
Yeah. And Luke, you know, because Jeku's a professional photographer, so you notice how like everything behind him is kind of blurry, a little blurry, but he is as crisp as high definition can get.
He's got portrait mode on Zoom. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome stuff. So Jeku, before we go, you have to close out the show. So you can tell the audience anything you want them to hear, and then when you're finished, just end it with "that's a wrap," and you can take us out. So at your leisure, you can hit the go button and close out the show.
Thanks again for having me on the show. I do want to point out my reason for being part of the 10,000 Headshots to help those who are currently employed. It was because I was unemployed for 18 months, leaving active duty service. I couldn't, as much as I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a full-time job. I had part-time gigs. I did stuff on my own, but it was a really trying time. And even when I became a dependent of an active duty soldier, my wife, and when we came back to America, it was a stressful time because neither my wife or I had a full-time job, had any jobs lined up. I had a child, and my wife was expecting another one. And so for about 4 or 5 weeks coming into America, had nothing lined up. And so it was a blessing that I finally got something later on. So the stress,
Awesome.
the frustration, the depressing with it's tough. So I'm glad I could give back as I could. And for veterans who are out there, use your resources, use your network, update your LinkedIn profile. You never know if you reach out and be true to who you are and show what you're capable of, because you are more than what you think you are. And make sure you hold yourself to it. And that's a wrap.